This is really some Vlad TV shit. So, my name is Emmanuel Speaks. I'm a spoken word poet, storyteller, wordsmith, whatever you want to call it. And I'm really just in love with language and wordplay and just making things come to life through poetry. Why I do what I do. Well, really, I just want to take my story and the stories of my friends and everyone else around me and just put it out there in poetry form and just make sure that we're heard as a people. Russian Roulette is my debut project. It's an EP. It's got two phases really. It's an EP and it's also a short film. I put out the EP in September 2016 and kind of from there I was able to then formulate, work on and create the short film, which is like a spoken word short film, which is an amalgamation of all the tracks in the EP to kind of, we've taken a storyline that's in the EP and we've basically created visuals and made it into a journey, almost a visual journey, and that came out on New Year's Day. I initially had the idea for Russian Roulette in February 2016, and as soon as I knew that I wanted to kind of cover the concepts that I covered, I initially knew that I wanted to do visuals anyway, but I don't know whether I wanted to do like a series of different music videos or just a short film kind of thing. But what I did is I just started writing the songs. I just started formulating the storyline for the EP, and it just made sense to do. It made sense to do a short film because it's something that hasn't been done before in terms of spoken word, and kind of it's just, I'm using spoken word to almost help me learn a bunch of new arts, a bunch of new crafts, a bunch of new hustles. That's why I kind of wanted to explore film and kind of what it takes to create a film, and it just made sense to kind of put the two together and make a short film out of it. And yeah, so I started in February. Obviously at the time I was in second year of uni, so I had exams, so you know what I mean, so I had to kind of take a back seat sometimes. So while I was planning, I was revising at deadlines, etc, etc, etc. So it was a slow progress, a slow race, but kind of it took a lot of time, a lot of endurance, a lot of thought. And like I said, I released the EP in September and ended up releasing the film literally New Year's Day 2017. I feel like the biggest message that I wanted to kind of put out with the project was collaboration between my art form, other art forms, collaboration between myself and everyone else around me that kind of did other things almost, and just to create this amazing sort of massive project. And in terms of the actual EP, the sound and kind of what I was going for, a lot of it was inspired. If you listen to the EP, a lot of it's samples and covers almost of songs from Beyonce's I Am Such a Fierce album. And the reason that I picked that album, I was listening to Ave Maria and Halo and Sweet Dreams, like just one day in my room, and I was like, these songs are powerful. They're sweet, but they're powerful, and they all convey a message. And that's something that I wanted to replicate with spoken word. Do you know what I mean? If you know me, you know that I'm always ready to take something and transform it into my own and kind of take it that extra step further. So that's kind of what I wanted to do with the EP. So a lot of the sounds that you hear are samples from the I Am Such a Fierce album and kind of conveyed and put together to create my own storyline. In terms of the film, one of the inspirations behind the film was Kanye West's Runaway, where he did a very, very similar thing where he's taken like the collection of songs from his album and put it into an amalgamation and create a short film out of it. And kind of I wanted to emulate that, but with spoken word, and actually make it original, make it my own, make it Emmanuel Speaks his project, as well as Dylan Ashford Quay, who kind of I wrote, directed and produced it with. The tagline that kind of we used for the film especially was love, lust, faith, gender and power. And within that, kind of the actual topics that I wanted to kind of bring to light were things like domestic violence, mental illness and depression, these kind of things that a lot of young, especially black people, kind of tend to run away from, don't really want to talk about, don't really want to explore. But because it's so prevalent in the society that we're in, it's so prevalent in our youth, so prevalent in our generation, that we shouldn't run away from these things. And I feel like someone in the position that I am, where kind of I'm in a place where I speak and people kind of taking what I say, I felt a certain responsibility to touch on these things and like I said, bring them to light and kind of use the entertainment factor almost to kind of get people talking about these things, get people exploring what it may mean to themselves and the people around them, and kind of, like I said, bring everything to light. I haven't like every night I sit at home and I'm like, yeah, I need to have Beyonce just for bands, because I know she's probably not gonna see it anyway. She probably doesn't even run her own Twitter, but I still haven't even like bothered to add her yet. But I might do so after this interview still. Dylan Ashraquay, who, like I said, produced, wrote, and directed it with me, he's an actor as well. So he kind of took on his role anyway. In terms of getting everyone else involved, I think I literally just sent out a tweet saying, is there anyone that's interested in acting and wants to work on this project, and etc etc. And I had people bringing their friends forward, etc etc. And kind of we were just looking for people who wanted to be involved in a project. Like I said, it was a collaboration of a bunch of different arts and crafts, of people who actually wanted to be involved in that kind of project. So we got a bunch of people and we kind of sent out the concepts to them, saw how receptive they were to it, and kind of, there was Jamila, who played Ruth. I really gravitated to her, and she was like as soon as I sent her the concept, she was so interested in it, so it made sense to get her involved. Isabella, who played Michelle, Isabella, who played Delilah, who's our main character. I think with her, she's someone that kind of we follow each other on Twitter and stuff for a couple years prior to the actual casting of her, and kind of I liked. It's weird to say I like the look of her, but it's the truth, and I just like the look of her. I like the way, I felt that she would bring something different that you wouldn't normally see in a bunch of music videos that you see on YouTube or wherever. She just had the face for it almost, and kind of I asked her whether she'd be interested in acting, because I know that she'd worked in front of camera before as a model or whatever. So I asked her if she'd be interested in acting, sent her the concept. She again was receptive and kind of open to it, so it made sense for her to be in it. And yeah, I think casting really just casted itself a lot of the time. It was just the people who we gravitated to the most, who made the most sense to kind of within the roles that were actually given and were available. So yeah, it's hard to decipher what my favorite track from the EP was, because all the tracks are so close to my heart because of how much time and I actually put into them. But I feel like my favorite one the one I had most fun creating was Halo, because I had to challenge myself and get my singing on, even though I can't sing, and kind of just explore a few different sounds and try and mix the kind of the singing with the poetry and actually write a song and all these sort of things. So I had fun doing that. But I feel like my favorite would have to be Out of Beautiful Nightmare with Rara, where we kind of went back and forth touching on the whole domestic violence piece, and kind of almost we came at a completely different angle to what you probably normally have heard. It was like a confessional almost, where you had myself, without giving too much away anyway, you had myself kind of exploring the more biblical references and the ways that people can perhaps take certain scriptures in the Bible to manipulate their agenda and kind of all this sort of stuff, which was proper cool. It's out of that and Ave Maria, which is, I think has to be Ave Maria, to be fair, because Ave Maria is just like a winning formula for me, because I released it, I think it was 2014, the summer of 2014, where kind of Drake and Wizkid and Skepta combined to make the Adjo Elegba remix, and there was all that hype, and I decided to make a spoken word version of Adjo Elegba, and the same people that worked on my spoken word version of Adjo Elegba were the exact same people who worked on Ave Maria. We had Rebecca the singer, Robert who played the keys, and Shemzi, who kind of was my engineer, and kind of it was just so fun working with these people to create Adjo Elegba the first time. Now I thought we need to do it again to make Ave Maria, and Ave Maria was just as powerful and just as amazing. So Another hard one still. I'd say it's the end scene with where you had Ave Maria and you had myself. Again, not to ruin the movie for anyone who hasn't watched it, where you had myself acting and you had Isabella, aka Delilah, and you had the dancer, the contemporary dancer Lola Moves, and she just brought a different element to the movie. That end scene felt like a different movie in itself. So like, I really enjoyed shooting that, enjoyed editing it, enjoyed making it come to life. Every time someone asks me this, I give the same answer, which is literally, if spoken word is something you want to do and you want to actively pursue and perform and anything like that, then the best thing to do is to just go out and engage with as many spoken word artists as possible. The spoken word scene is so small that you're no more than like 2 or 3 connections away from your favorite spoken word artist. Do you know what I mean? So go out, go to as many shows as you can, try and do as many open mics as you can, speak to as many spoken word artists as you can, listen to as many as you can, and start to create yourself and just get yourself involved rather than being reclusive and thinking that you're not good enough. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's got a sound, everyone's got kind of their purpose and what they want to achieve. So literally just go out and get involved. What's next? Loads, hella things. But I want to do a headline show this year. I want to do a headline show. I want to do perhaps another short film, perhaps 2 short films. I want to release another EP and just a whole load of collaborations with like as many hustles as possible, whether it be producers, whether it be rappers, singers. I just want to create and make as much content, as much powerful content as possible.
My brother, yo, man, this is Ezekiel, Israel, Benji.